Hi guys, again I'm here with you, Dr. Vogel, in this session of organizational behavior and introduction to management. And as I said, they were closely related because if you want to know what managers do, you have to talk about behavior. This exhibit here is very important because okay, they've studied for a long time. Actually, let me see. This was done for a lot of years. Um, in which they analyzed what managers did and how much time did they spend doing what, meaning how much of their time did they spend communicating, how much of the time with traditional management, and what traditional management do is basically paper trail, sending memos, letters and instructions and policy manuals and all of that. um, and they and then they said, okay, let us look at what are the common what do they have in common, the people that we call successful managers, effective managers, and average managers. And let me just try to explain the difference. Average managers is easy to explain because it's people that that don't do great of a job, they're just average. They're also average in the sense that they're not making huge amounts of money. They're not being that effective in what they do. They're just average, okay? And if you see it, they spend pretty much doing very similar. It's like they divide their day or their activities among different areas like communication, human resource management. Now this thing here, human resource management. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're not the human resource manager. You're always doing, as a manager, human resource management activities because that's what you deal as a manager with people. You manage these resources, although please remember, I hate calling them resources because that humans are much more than a resource. When I think about a resource, I think about money, space, time, inventory, cash, whatever, all of that. And a human is not a resource to me. And of course, that's why they changed this whole thing to human talent or human capital. But just to be honest, it's just words. At the end of the day, what you really want is I don't care how you call it, but treat people like human beings. Like people that are really important to the organization because they are. So in a way, um, average managers, people that don't, the, they don't get out of the regular typical person. They do pretty much a little bit of everything. Now, it is important to define, first of all, what is a successful manager. Okay, a successful manager as opposed to effective manager. A successful manager, as the book explains later, let me see where, but they do explain it, that that successful managers are considered successful because in the sense that they, let me see it here. Okay, it says among managers who were successful, defined in terms of speed of promotion with their organizations. This means that they're successful in the sense that they're successful professionally, meaning how much money they're making, are they getting promotions, are they being important in the organization, do they have a good personal branding? So they're successful in that sense. Professionally, how much money you make. I mean, in that sense. Now, at another time when and if we have time, we're gonna talk about success. Okay, really, what success is, professionally and personally, because we could. This is what the book explains what people call successful managers. Then look at it, how interesting this is. 48% of their time is spent on networking. Remember we talked about the reciprocity principle and networking. That's knowing who instead of knowing how. Remember the know-how? It was important like 20 years ago, and now everyone knows how because you Google it or because you use Wikipedia or use YouTube. But knowing who has become more important because who is the person that can give you a job if you know that person, or it can be a potential client. or can be whatever important to you. So look at it. Successful managers, as defined by the book, which is, again, people that are economically and professionally successful, spend 40 other time, like half their time, talking to people, building relationships, using reciprocity to build trust and loyalty. It's interesting. That's half, So I want to ask you, you don't have to tell me right now, but remember to tell me when we see each other. Okay, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a successful manager or an effective manager? And I'll tell you what the difference is. You see, this person enjoys success. Effective managers, if you define effectiveness in here, I'll have it down here. Effective managers define in terms of quantity and quality of the performance and the satisfaction and commitment of employees. These people are great at their jobs. They're very good at their jobs. They do everything. They get things done and everything, but they don't get the promotions. So that's and that's where we have resentment in organizations. Like you have people like, okay, you know what, I bust my my head working. I spend I do everything. I get the sales quota. We save money. I do everything that's needed, and I'm an effective manager. And I don't get the promotion. This guy gets a promotion. You know why he gets the promotion? Because he become friends with the boss, with other people. What do you want to be? To be honest, what do I want to be? I want to be effective and successful. Okay, effective. But you know what the problem is? That we only have 24 hours a day, and we got to pick. Okay, and in this case, the effective manager does something very, very important most of the time, which is communicating. If you communicate well with your coworkers, with your employees, with everyone, they're gonna know where you're going, where you want or where you want them to go. Strategically speaking, nobody's gonna have uh, difficulty knowing where we want to go. In fact, this person is so good communicating that he can die or go to another company, and people know what they need to do. So there's no risk. Okay, in the sense that he can go to another company and people already know what they need to do, so it's very low risk for the company. But to be honest, you can't do both. Or if you want to do both, what do you sacrifice? I mean, you have to sacrifice either traditional management, human resources. You know what I would do? I would sacrifice traditional management completely. There, I got 19% that I can spend in networking, the green part. So that would be like what, 11, that would be 30. So I could eliminate that. Okay, that's what I would do because I have to do with it. Now look at it. Human resource management. The way this graph is constructed is talking about traditional human resource management. And please remember, and you have to remember this stuff that I tell you. Okay, and that's why this is an interactive lesson. Um, um, and look at this series. Okay, this series that I want. Again, what does this have to do? This the owner of the company, or this isn't Showtime, but actually it's the Netflix also. And the thing is that um, the way what I wanted you to tell you is that human resource management traditionally is not very effective, but if you use the modern approach, with which it is in billions, for example, helping professionals meet their goals, get out of depression or whatever, anxiety and stuff, that you can get them to be more productive. So, but study is important. Okay, it's interesting to remember that, yeah, all these things need to be done, but what do you want to do at the end of the day? And how do they get to this point? They interviewed thousands of people, so you can bet this is solid data. Okay, so allocation of time. How much time I'm going to spend doing what? Okay, sometimes you don't have a choice in the sense that your boss will tell you what to do. Okay, but if you had a choice, and often you do as a manager, you distribute this well. Okay, so let's see. Right now we're gonna stop this recording so we can do it in chunks, in like smaller chunks, as opposed to what we were doing before, which was larger, amount, videos that are